What's good, people? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to get into the conversation that never really leaves hip-hop. What happens when the culture is shaped by money, ego, image and performance instead of truth, growth and self-awareness? Yeah, this episode is inspired by KRS One. Have you seen the KRS One conversation about mainstream hip-hop? Or shall I say lamestream hip-hop? Because that's what it is, it's lame. It talks about masculinity and it opens up a bigger can of worms. Are we building men, or are we just packaging stereotypes for entertainment? Listen, hip-hop was never just about music. It's an art form, it's a movement, it's an identity, it's a language. See, at its best, it gave people a voice that had none. I'm gonna say that again. It gave people a voice that had none. Once again, at its best, it's supposed to represent honesty, knowledge, and power. KRS One has always represented that side of the culture. That side that sees the culture as something deeper than charts and clout. Lamestream hip-hop moves different, man. It rewards the loudest person in the room, the hardest pose and the richest flex, which is not what it's supposed to do. And all of us ain't rich, brother. All of us are not rich. Let's just stop the fronting and let's get out of fantasy land. Lamestream hip-hop is like the drug game for real. A few people get rich, but it destroys many lives. See, when you introduce the most exaggerated versions of masculinity, it then becomes a problem. Because these young boys start learning that being a man means never showing weakness, never admitting confusion, and never reflecting. So they're never evolving. So don't you see that we're creating an environment where image is more important than character? So when he says that there's no real men in lamestream hip-hop, yeah, it hits home, and this is why. The industry has made it too profitable for people to pretend. The industry has made it too profitable for people to lie. The industry has made it too profitable for people to falsify an image. The industry has made it too profitable for people to intentionally corrupt the youth. I mean, look how the lamestream celebrates dominance without discipline, confidence with no wisdom, and money without purpose. Now, none of those things are automatically bad. The problem arises is when those things become the whole identity. Hip-hop then becomes one-dimensional. And then we start doing this art form a disservice. Before long, the whole thing is gonna crash. Don't you see it happening already? A man that can only perform toughness is not really strong. Let's stop pushing that image. It's not fair to black men. Listen, a culture that confuses aggression with leadership is not really building people. And that's the deeper meaning of this conversation. Listen, real masculinity is about responsibility and duty, yeah? Without needing to prove it to anybody. Well, I suppose when you're dutiful, the proof is in the pudding, innit? Real masculinity is about protecting your mind, your money, your family, and your future. The exact opposite to what the lamestream is portraying. It's about speaking with authority, but still being humble enough to learn. Now, that version of masculinity doesn't need to shout every second, because it's got nothing to prove. What makes this topic so relevant now is that social media has taken the old music industry problem and turned it up. See, artists are no longer selling records. They're selling identity in real time. Ta-da! The algorithm rewards controversy, variety, and extremes. So instead of encouraging complexity, the system just pushes out caricatures. So that artist who wants to be thoughtful, grounded, multi-dimensional, them man, they can get buried under the noise. But hip-hop has always got a trick up its sleeve. It's always going to produce MCs that speak like teachers, prophets, and poets. Cause that's why a man like KRS One will always get props. Cause he treats hip-hop like a responsibility instead of a fucking costume party. You might disagree with his style, but you can always hear the strong message. Always hear the strong message. Like the brother's always saying something important. I'm not going to pretend that the lamestream hasn't got artists with depth and vulnerability and pushing the culture forward. Stormzy is a good example. Look, if the loudest image is dominating the conversation, then the culture is teaching the wrong lessons. It's teaching these young boys to perform confidence rather than build it. It's teaching them to chase approval instead of purpose. So maybe the real question isn't, is there real men in hip-hop? Maybe the question is, what kind of men is hip-hop rewarding?